Hi! Here's a quick DIY for making this super dainty and delicate beaded bracelet. It's adjustable with these cute little tassels on the back, and it's super easy to make. All you need is a thin piece of thread and some seed beads. Okay, now without further ado, let's get started. For the materials you will need a thin piece of thread in the color of your choice and some thread wax. Or if you have pre-waxed thread like the ones you use for macrame, you can go ahead and use that. I just prefer to use embroidery floss because sometimes the macrame threads can be really stiff, and for this bracelet I want it to be more delicate. You will also need seed beads in the smallest size you can find. Just make sure your thread can fit through. Also some slightly larger beads. I'm using fire polish beads here because I like how they give a slight boho feel to the bracelet. But really, you can use any kind of beads you like. The important thing is to keep in mind that you want your thread to be able to fit 2 times through your bead very snugly, since this will be the bead you'll use to adjust your bracelet size with. Now quickly for the tools, you'll need a ruler, scissors, some bead threaders. If you don't have any of these, just use the thinnest piece of wire you have laying around. Some jewelry glue, and toothpicks or anything sharp to apply your glue with. A pin board, which is optional but great to have if you work with thread a lot. Some pins and needles, and let's get crafting! First, measure and cut your piece of thread. For the measurements, simply wrap your thread around the widest part of your hand and add on 10 centimeters or 4 inches. Next, run your thread lightly through your thread wax. Skip this step, of course, if you are using pre-waxed thread. I like to run mine through 2 to 3 times, and then with the warmth of my fingers, gently rub the wax in while twisting it, making sure all the wax is distributed around the thread evenly. This step will help make your bracelet much more durable and less likely to fray with wear. So try not to skip it. Now using the bead threader, let's string the beads onto our thread. If you don't have any bead threaders, here's how to make your own. Simply cut a piece of wire and fold it in half. Then flatten it a bit with a plier or your nails. Make sure your bead slides through, and voila! A tip for threading small beads is to pull your thread all the way to the very end and then pull your bead through. If the bead is really small, then you're most likely just going to be able to thread 1 bead through at a time. But there's nothing a little patience can't do. Once you've threaded enough beads onto the thread, I did 15 beads here. You want to center your beads onto the midpoint of the thread and wrap it around your wrist tightly and adjust the placement of your beads to your liking. Okay, this looks pretty good to me. Now make a knot at each end of the beads to secure them in place. The trick to make a knot at exactly where you want it is to pin down the exact point and then make a knot around the pin. Secure it, release your pin, and then secure some more. And do the same on the other end. Okay, looking pretty good. Now let's make our bracelet adjustable. We will want to thread our larger bead through both thread ends right there. Make sure the threads are pointing in the same direction. You can do the opposite direction too if you'd like. I like it this way because I think it looks more like tassels. Speaking of tassels, let's decorate ours by stringing a seed bead onto each end. Next, wrap your bracelet around the widest part of your hand again and secure the adjustment bead. This is where you'll want to cut the thread ends. Then pull the seed beads to the ends. Knot the edges again and glue your beads into place with some jewelry glue. I always like using a pointy object like a toothpick to apply the glue with, as this will ensure precise application and it will prevent bits of visible glue on the jewelry. I also glue the last bead on each side of my strand of beads in place, because I think it looks nicer if these two beads don't move about like the others. Okay, one final step before we snip the ends off. Let's apply a little bit more of our trusty thread wax to the edges. And finally, cut the excess thread off. I like to give the ends a little puff, because I think it makes them look really cute. And there you have it! Ta-da! Let's try this bad boy on. It's so simple, and there's something so chic about how minimalistic they are. I was having so much fun, I also made a mini one for the fingers. So I have a bracelet and ring set. You can wear it with the beaded side up, or turn it around and show off the tassels. You know, be creative and try out different things. Here are a few variations that I made, playing with different thread colors and textures and beads in different shapes and sizes, a different way of knotting, a different adjustment method. The possibilities are endless, so have fun with it. I hope this video has inspired you to make some lovely bracelets and have fun. That's all. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Happy crafting!